Hi, and welcome to yet another of my little messages during this time of isolation. I hope you're finding them helpful. Um, you'll notice as well that I'm actually playing around a little bit with the recordings, and I've included some music, and I hope that they will add to these moments that we share together. Can I also say thank you to those of you who have responded? It's good to know that these thoughts have been of some encouragement and helping us to not only keep in touch with each other, but actually keep on track spiritually. Well, I'm continuing this week from where we were last week, because I was looking at one of the post-resurrection appearances, the one of the final ones, really, of Jesus, when it's recorded in John's Gospel, chapter 21. Now, despite some appearances having already taken place, we read of Peter um, going fishing. He decides to give up and go fishing. Now, I'm not sure this was just to pass the time, waiting for something else to happen. I wonder if I can suggest that it was more a case of I'm fed up of this. I'm totally disappointed. I've let myself down. I've no real idea what's going on. So I'm going back to what I know really works. Despite having spent 3 years of his life following Jesus and doing what Jesus had said and seen some amazing things were now different again. And I wonder as well if Peter was feeling just that little bit guilty about things. Because remember, it wasn't that long ago that he denied Jesus 3 times, the night when Jesus was arrested, when he was challenged about being one of his disciples. No, I didn't know him. I don't know him, he said. But here we are with Peter, and he is aware that Jesus is alive again. He'd witnessed the resurrection for himself. But in his confused mind, bewildered by it all, maybe he had just had enough. And I wonder if it was about going back to a safe place for a time, to that which he knew he was good at, to go back fishing. Well, they did. And we know that it wasn't a great night of fishing after all. They worked all night and they caught nothing. Feeling tired, no doubt, and weary and very disappointed. Um, Probably didn't help their spirits any to be asked a question, how did he get on? Um, and when they said not being good, they were advised to throw their nets on the other side. I wonder if something came through their mind then of something similar happening. Well, of course, whatever they're thinking, Peter and the other disciples took the suggestion of the stranger on the shore and they threw the nets to the other side of the boat. And the result was they caught far more than they could actually handle. Well, once the stranger was recognized as Jesus, Peter puts on his clothes and jumps into the sea. That bit always makes me smile. And he makes his way to the shore to meet him. And there, Jesus and the disciples have breakfast together. And this breakfast turned into a momentous occasion for Peter. Not only was it a confirmation that Jesus was alive and still with them, the conversation that was shared between Peter and Jesus led him to being personally restored in a new relationship. Through the process of questions, Peter was challenged in his love for Jesus. And using the different words for love, twice Jesus asks him, do you love me? And these times he was using the agape word, as in total commitment, the unselfish and the sacrificial kind of love. To which Peter responds with a lesser word, phileo, which is much more a friendly affection type. Yes, Lord, I love you. On the third occasion, though, Jesus asks Peter if he loves him, and this time he also uses the lesser word. And Peter, at that point, could respond with an absolute affirmative. You know all things. You know that I love you. And Jesus said to him, feed my sheep. So Jesus restores Peter into that new relationship and recommissions him, calling him once more to follow. I wonder even if at this point that first call from Jesus came to mind for Peter. Then it was to become a fisher of men. But now it's a new challenge, from fishing to feeding sheep. A different kind of work ahead of him. A couple of things just to note here. I think the first thing, again, is to say there is the call not to grow weary in waiting. Don't be tempted to give up because things are not working out as you would wish or expect them to. The next thing is this. You can never really go back to the way things were. Things have changed. And this will certainly be true when the pandemic passes and we're given freedom to return to normal, whatever that is. But also, I want you to note that Jesus didn't ask Peter, "Are you sorry?" He just asks him to love to the best of his ability. Well, finally, since Jesus is risen, death is dead, love has won, Christ has conquered. The words of Lou Fellingham's song, "This Changes Everything," is a message that we all need to sing. Things are not the same. And I want it to be the truth for each one of us, that these words might inspire and motivate us to respond afresh, if you like, to the call to follow. May we be determined to follow in new ways and live each day in that life-giving knowledge that Jesus is alive. And despite any circumstances we find ourselves in, this truth changes everything. But before I share the opening verses of the song, Ruth is going to read a blessing by Malcolm Duncan.
May the God who holds the world in his hands remind you that he holds you too. As you face uncertainty and as questions rise in your mind of what tomorrow might bring, may you be reminded that God is able to carry you and promises never to leave you.
We are standing on the promise of the future. We have tasted all the life that's yet to come. We have seen a glimpse of heaven in the darkness, and our hope is in the resurrected Son. God is with us, we no longer fear tomorrow. Christ is in us now, we know where we belong. We have freedom that is only found in Jesus. Living in his victory, we now overcome. He is alive. Jesus is alive. This changes everything, everything.